Hey everybody, welcome back to this week's Most Elite Podcast. This week I'm going to do a little something different. I know normally I talk about a game or something, mostly a game. I'm going to get to movies soon. It's just hard to get with a game I can record footage and play the game and talk about it to give people a visual aid, because apparently that's been some criticism that I should include visual aids. Which, I mean, hey, look, whatever you need is whatever you need. I got no problem putting a visual aid on a video. But I can't, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention that this is a podcast, and generally, podcasts don't have anything like that. I do that because people have asked me to do it, and I get it, so I do it. But with movies, I can't do that because I'll get content ID'd like immediately. It'll be like, oh, is that a movie? Take that video down. YouTube's really fast about that. Like I did it once with My Hero, my Hero video. I put a My Hero video up with snips of the first episode of the anime, and I got content ID pretty quickly. So like for movies, it's kind of tough to do a visual aid. I guess my movie series will have uh nothing, just blank space. Maybe I'll include a poster. Even that though, I think might get me grabbed up. Honestly, couldn't say. Anyway, this week I'm not talking about a game or a movie or anything. I'm talking about games, but not a game in particular. I want to talk about the endless rehashing of a brand and why I don't like prequels, and honestly I'm just tired of playing the same game over and over again. It's just like I'm tired of seeing the same movie. And I wanted to talk a little bit about that. Maybe get some feedback from the YouTube community, whoever's tuning in. Do you guys like the same games over and over again? And what do I mean by that? What do I mean by the same game? Uncharted. Everybody remember Uncharted? Nathan Drake, plucky adventurer, smart mouth, somehow doesn't die in these ridiculous scenarios. I've played Uncharted 1, number 1, and it was a solid experience. Some shooting galleries, some puzzles, some shooting galleries, some cutscenes, and then the game was over. And that was it. I was like, okay, sweet. And then Uncharted 2 came out, and you're like, okay, we got a sequel. All right. What's the gameplay like? Oh, some shooting galleries, some. Hold on, guy. That's my cat being a cat in the background. Hold on a second. And some cutscenes and some puzzle solving. I don't know. I mean, I did that already in number 1. You know, then number 3 came out. It's like, sweet, we got a third one, a threequel, I think it's called. Is that what they call them? What do we got? What do we got? Some shooting galleries, some puzzle solving, some cutscenes, some shooting galleries. Is that a stealth sequence? Nice. Some shooting galleries. And then the game's over, right? And you think to yourself, they can't keep making the same game. People won't keep buying it. Millions sold. Millions of copies sold. Number 4 came out, PS4. You can see the beads of sweat rolling down Drake's head as he's talking shit while running through shooting galleries and solving puzzles. Some cutscenes. Honestly, I mean, yeah, and that's not an exaggeration to say that either. And anybody who's played the Uncharted series, if you're not just looking through the lens of I had a good time so it's great, then you'll agree that there is not much, if any, deviation from the gameplay of 1 to the gameplay of 4. And it kind of makes you wonder, why exactly did they even make the other games? The answer is money, obviously, but can you call these games sequels? Couldn't we just call it Uncharted 1, Uncharted 1 Part 2, Uncharted 1 Part 3? Like, why are we giving them titles as if they're different games? They're not different games. The production values go up on the games as the more money they make, so they look better. But they play the same. Is 1 a little slower than the rest? Sure, it was 1. But overall, The experience of Uncharted did not change through the 4 iterations of the game. Why? Why didn't it change? It already made the money. They could have took some risk. There's driving segments before anybody because I know I boiled it down to shooting galleries and cutscenes. There are driving segments. I wouldn't even call them much segments. I mean, it's a set piece. You know what it is? The games are like movies. They're like cinematic experiences. They're no longer video games. They're cinematic experiences, and you press buttons in between. That's not a video game. It's a movie that I'm interacting with. But then when a developer actually gave us that, when they made The Order 1886, it was universally panned as like not a video game. I was like, no, but all games have been doing this for some time now, and they just took it in the next logical step, I thought, which was it's pretty much a fucking movie, and you press some buttons sometimes. Literally, all of The Order was cutscenes. I mean, I think there was like 6 shooting galleries or so in the whole game. I have the game or the movie or whatever you want to call it. And it never got a sequel, which is weird because Uncharted has 4 games. And it's almost the same thing. It's a cover shooter with a lot of cutscenes, a lot of narrative, and some shooting galleries. So I don't know. I mean, where do you draw the line for this stuff, guys? I mean, you can talk about big franchises. Oh, why break the wheel? You know, we're not reinventing the wheel here. Breaking what's fixed. If it works, keep selling it. And I think that's the motto of all developers. Even the indie ones that we love so much. If it works, keep selling it. Because I gotta tell you, Uncharted is the same game over and over again. The God of War games for like 6 iterations were the same game. There was new stuff in the games, granted. New places to do the same thing you did in the last game, but they're the same game at their core. I think the reason Legend of Zelda, excuse me if you're on, what's the newest Legend of Zelda? Honestly, Breath of the Wild. I think the reason that one got so much attention was because it wasn't the same game. It was like we've been playing the Legend of Zelda since like 88 or 89, whenever it debuted. 87? I don't even know when that first one debuted. But that's the game we've been playing for all these years. And I guess we got tired of it, right? Didn't we? I don't think so. Because they kept making it. They kept making it over and over again. And doesn't that gets tiresome? Like, doesn't it? Sometimes I think that I'm anomalous in this because I don't like that. And a lot of my friends, they don't like it either, but they're more willing to put up with it than I. It's like, that's terrible. Call of Duty, for instance. I love Call of Duty. It's just, it has, Call of Duty, ever since the Modern Warfare, the emergence of the Modern Warfare, it's in that same box of, all right, it's not broke. Keep selling it. Slight innovation here and there. They had the little jumpy suits, and then they had the space suits. And they added zombies, which is just killing floor, They put killing floor in the game. Whatever works. But the core gameplay, the shooting, the overall feel of Call of Duty remained consistent over each iteration of the game. And I guess that's to the developers' credit. You need different developers. 3 different developers are making these games. Sledgehammer, Treyarch, Infinity Ward. And they're like, all right, let's make the same game, but have it look a little bit different so people will buy it. At least they got that going for them. But it is the same game. Madden, with the exception of like quarterback vision and all, hit stick and all that shit, Madden's the same. All the big franchise games are the same. Battlefield, they have to be. But do they? Can't these developers, aren't they financially stable enough to take a risk with an IP? Take a risk? Like with anything? These things are so fucking big now that they're scared for them to be anything that they are. And I think that's a disservice to fans who keep spending their money. Because obviously people keep spending their money to keep making the games. People are spending their money in droves for the same shit that they just did. That'd be like eating a cheeseburger and then like the next week, it's like, oh shit, you know what I ever have? A cheeseburger. Huh? You just had one. You just had one. Nah, not like this. This cheeseburger doesn't have pickles on it when my last one did. But that's a downgrade. Nah, fam. It's not. Oh. Like, that's the situation I find myself in for a lot of my friends and a lot of casual observers of me talking shit, is that I'm tired of the same shit and they aren't. I mean, look at the MCU, the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Iron Man came out in 2008, didn't it? It's Iron Man. Sweet. RDJ. Iron Man. Haha. Like, the next 18 movies were just Iron Man. And they were just Iron Man because Iron Man worked so well. It was like, oh shit, we don't have to do anything to these movies. Just put Iron Man in a different setting and it'll sell. Oh shit. It's the same thing with video games. It's you. Oh, the last one had Iron Man on Titan. He wasn't even on Earth. Just Iron Man on a planet. Haha, billions. What the fuck? I don't know. I just feel like there should be risk taken. And for those of you who are going to say, well, they took the risk when they made the thing that they're emulating. They did. And look how successful it was. Like, Modern Warfare was a risk. It wasn't anything like the other Call of Duties. You know? Madden has just been football. You know, it was Super Nintendo. You know, it's just been football. It just looks better now. You can't really take risk with football. You got shit like Blitz or whatever. And even that has a cult following, you know. But, you know, I'll excuse the sports games, even though they probably should stop making them. I mean, because they can't really. I mean, what are you going to do? It really is just going to be the same. Until we get to the point where it's Ready Player One and we're actually playing football, there's really nothing. There's nothing else you can do. There's nothing else you can do with fucking sports games. FIFA, shit is just fucking. Just put the ball in a hoop. Put the ball in a cup. Wherever the fuck. You kick the soccer ball. Or the football. You know? What are you going to do? Sports games. But as for these other games, they can change them. And what's crazy is when they step out of the mold just a little bit, they're chastised for it. Look at Infinite Warfare for Call of Duty. Fucking space battles and space suits and like faster than light and shit. And fans were like, what the fuck is this garbage? This isn't Call of Duty. That's not what I paid the same $60 for every year for. Of course it's not the same. It's something new. I don't want anything new. Oh. But if you give them the same game over and over again, that's the same game. Huh? The hell are you talking about? I think it's a combination of developers trying to give fans what they want and fans not knowing what the fuck they want. And I think that's what landed us in this endless cycle of monetizing the same thing over and over and over again. Why did loot boxes appear in Shadow of War? Like, I don't know. That was weird. Speaking of Shadow of War, it was just Shadow of Mordor. It was the same game. Why? Is it that you see the success of the one thing, and it's like we gotta get that lightning in a bottle twice? Let's just do the one thing over, call it something else, slightly change the protagonist's hair, or you know, the color of his armor, and it's a different game. There you go. Is that it? I feel like that's it. And if that's the secret to success, I feel like a lot more people will be successful. I mean, honestly. You just do the same thing as someone else. PUBG and Fortnite, perfect example. What's the first Battle Royale game? Is it DayZ? Wasn't that just a mod of another game? Like, is it H1Z1? Who cares, right? Battle Royale games have been around for a long time. And then other developers see that. They're not so successful, but they're like, well, that'll probably work in my game. Copy, paste, you know, Control C, Control V. There it is. It's in your game now. All of a sudden, it's a worldwide phenomenon, but it already existed. It's nothing new. Fortnite itself was new, right? Like it was Plants vs Zombies, but you built walls. That's kind of cool, right? Why didn't it get any attention when it was that? It had a nice following, you know, but it wasn't on the world stage. It puts a battle royale mode in that already previously existed, and it's the biggest game in the world. I don't know. I honestly don't. I don't know the answer as to why we're getting. It must be the money. I mean, I know the answer. It's the money, right? It's definitely the money. But I don't want that to be the answer because I want to believe that the developers and some of the publishers, not all of them, some of the publishers do have our best interest at heart. I know they don't. I know they're thinking about the bottom line, but I want to believe that they care. You know, because if I stop believing they care, then I'm just going to stop buying the games. And I love video games. I was just playing, just before I started this podcast, I was just playing a video game. I was playing Destiny 2. It's not a good game. And it's been covered all over YouTube why it's not a good game. So I'm not going to get into it here. It's terrible, though. So, but I was playing it. You know, just passing the time. Just waiting for the sun to come up. It's like 6:30, 5:30. I don't know what time it is. My thing is broken. The sun's not up yet. So, I'm just recording this, you know. I had a snack. And I got to thinking before I put the recording on. I was like, man, what the fuck? Why am I playing the same game over and over again? And why is it so prevalent? Even Rocksteady, those legendary guys who did the Arkham series. Arkham Asylum is the game we've been playing. They released Arkham Asylum to critical success, financial success, and then it was like, all right, let's do another one. Let's just put them in a city. That'll be cool, right? Instead of being close quarters, let's give them an open world. Same game, but now you can go all across the skies of Gotham. That's neat, right? Yes and no. It's neat because I'm Batman and I'm in the city and I get to beat thugs up, but also it's the same gameplay as the last game where I was beating thugs up. It's just now, instead of beating thugs up inside of the asylum and going to these intricate rooms and stealth portions, I'm outside and it's raining and it's dark. Why does Gotham never have sunlight? What the fuck? And I'm beating up thugs outside and fighting supervillains outside. And then they did the Origins. You know, different Batman actor, Roger Craig Smith, different Joker, Troy Baker. And then it was like, all right, we're going to come back with the third one. Well, the fourth one. Arkham Knight. And they introduced the Batmobile. So, it did the things I like about a sequel, but it also kind of did more of the same, you know. 2 introduced the cityscape. Great. 3 kept it. Great. 3 didn't do anything else but made it a prequel. Still the same game as 1 and 2. 4 is the same game as 1 and 2, but with the Batmobile. Wowie zowie. So instead of slowly gliding around the city with your grappler, now you can drive around the city with your Batmobile. Huh? I just feel like I want something else. I just saw the trailer for Red Dead Redemption 2. I saw the trailer for Red Dead Redemption 2. And, I mean, there's no gameplay yet in these trailers. They're just sort of showing us story beats. It's a prequel. I don't care for prequels because I don't care. I mean, just give me what happens after. There's so many stories to tell in the Wild West. Why the fuck am I looking at the Vanderlyn gang again and Dutch's gang and fucking Marston's in the game? I don't care. There's so many stories you can tell in the Wild West. Even if you didn't talk about the Marston family anymore because you wrapped his story up with his son at the end of the last one, tell a story of someone else that was happening at the same time if you want. Like, oh, while he was going through this other fucking Billy badass was shooting, taking ass and kicking names or whatever the fuck. Like, what the fuck, man? Why does it look like already the same game? And I know it's going to be a bigger world. I get that. The world in Red Dead is already huge. I know it's going to be a bigger world because the PS4 and Xbox One can handle more. But will it be a different game? I don't think so. I think the answer is no. And that breaks my heart. Because I'm going to speak for you guys now. What are we as gamers waiting for, if not for something new? When you played your first video game, you had never experienced anything like it before. And it kept you wanting more. Now, when you play a video game, you're like, oh, this is just this game that I just played called something else. I turned on Assassin's Creed Origins. I beat the game, by the way. It's The Witcher. What the fuck? It's like Assassin's Creed had a formula. Now, was it dry? Was it stale? Yes. And the reason it was stale was for the very reason I've been complaining about this whole video. They keep making the same game. Stop doing that. Just make a new game with the title. And I promise fans will love it. Like Prince of Persia dared to be different in 2008 with the Prince of Persia game. Instead of sand and all that shit, it was a girl who could pull you from the jaws of death as you died. That game, you had unlimited lives, and at the time, I guess it was controversial. It was like, oh, unlimited lives, where's the danger? But fucking Mario Odyssey, you can't die. Everyone loves it. Come on, man. You know, just be different. I don't know, man. Assassin's Creed Origins really was The Witcher. That's some crazy shit now that I'm rethinking it. Like, what the fuck? Assassin's Creed had a formula, and they got boring because everybody caught on too early. I think that's the secret. Make a formula that people won't catch on early enough. You know, make a formula you can milk for 20 movies, Marvel Cinematic Universe, or milk for like 6 or 7 games. You know, Call of Duty, Madden. Splinter Cell has a formula, but it changes it most of the... Conviction changed the formula completely. It was like, oh, you like gadgets and shit, bro? Fuck all that. And it was gone. It was like, oh, shit, I'm out here on my lonesome. No air support, no goggles. What's going on? I'm Sam Fisher. I'm beating people up in broad daylight. It's awesome. I loved Conviction because it wasn't anything like the last ones. And then they went back to the last ones with Blacklist. And that's another thing I noticed that developers do. They'll change a game and then get scared. And then go back to what works. Assassin's Creed Origins is The Witcher. It's The Witcher in Egypt. With assassinations. They kept that core gameplay. They kept the assassinations and the eagle vision and all that shit. They added a little bird so you can spot your target, you know, tag your targets. And then that moved over. That came over from like Watch Dogs 2 and like Wildlands. It's Ubisoft, the same guys. You know? But what the fuck? They just made a game that already exists. Same thing for Breath of the Wild. Breath of the Wild is different. But is it? When it was coming out, people would call it Breath of the Frozen, whatever, you know, with the Breath of the Wild Hunt. Because it's just the fucking Witcher with Link in it. And developers do that too often. What I mentioned with PUBG and Fortnite. Oh, that works? Crazy. Let's do that in our game instead of something new and something innovative. Let's give people what they already have in a different package. Let's take the cheeseburger out of the McDonald's wrapper and put it into the Wendy's wrapper. It's a new cheeseburger now. It's not, though. And I feel like we, the fans, shouldn't keep accepting that. Why do we keep doing that? Why is it that when we see a trailer or a sizzle reel or something that's supposed to get us hype, we abandon all logic and critical thinking? We're just like, I want to buy that game. But you're buying the same game, bro. Even the new Spider-Man game, which I'm excited for. I mean, I know people are going to say, well, what else can you do with Spider-Man? They tried something with the Shadow Dimension series. It was sort of like third-person over-the-shoulder Spider-Man. It wasn't like the old games. And they got my respect for it, but those games got like, what, 6 out of 10 in Game Informer. You know, people liked them, but also they weren't widely accepted like the old games. And what the developers do? Oh, shit. Back to what works. Swing around the city, haha. It's like, I get it. You want to do that as Spider-Man. You want to be free. You want to fly around and jump around. But that kind of, it boxes you in. You can only make so many games where you fly around and jump around before you're just playing the same game. That being said, I'm definitely going to fly around and jump around in September as Spider-Man. But will it be a new experience? The answer is no. And that's fucked up. It'll just be the same experience but prettier on PS4 Pro and 4K TV. Haha. You like that same thing you've done before? Here it is again. When will it stop? I don't think it will. Unless we the gamers decide it does. You know? I'm not calling for a boycott or nothing. I'm just saying maybe email a developer every week, every month. Hey, you making something new yet? But put new in quotation marks. You know, add some snark. Because they're just going to keep doing it, guys. They're just going to keep making the same game. All of my favorite games are games I had never experienced before. And I think that for you guys as well, your favorite games, movies, books, or whatever forms of entertainment were things you had never experienced before. Or at least I like to believe that. Now, we just keep getting the same shit over and over again. Why the hell are we still accepting it? Anyway, that's my time this week. Next week, I'm actually going to do a video game. I don't know which one. I know I've been wanting to do Gradius, and I just haven't gotten around to recording the footage for it because I don't want to take any footage from offline. I'm actually super good at Gradius. I'll probably just record me beating it in one life, and then I'll just use that footage for the thing. Or at least beating the first few stages in one life. Beating in one life takes a lot out of me. Haven't done that in a while, but it can be done. Maybe I'll do a Sega game. I haven't turned my Sega on in a while. Anyway, thanks guys. Leave your comments and everything in the comment section. That's another thing. Definitely use that comment section. Just tell me what you think. Tell me what you're thinking. Cause maybe I'm crazy. Maybe I'm the asshole and everybody wants to play the same game over and over again. Everybody wants to see the same movie over and over again. And to say that they don't means I hate their favorite thing somehow. I don't know. Anyway, like, comment, subscribe, hit that follow button, that little bell, so you know when I post. Have a good day, guys.